the new drugs, the draft week. We have made it to draft week here on Jacksonville's First Coast. Frank Frangie, Hays Carlyon, JJ LaSelva. Hope you all had a wonderful Easter weekend. JJ, good trip to Ocala to see the LaSelvas?
Phenomenal trip.
Yeah?
I got to see the LaSelvas and the Bravos and just everybody. It was great.
Okay, very good. Good.
And the Braves swept.
How about that?
So, I mean, we're back.
Are you back?
No, I'm not back, but hopefully we are
Here come the
back.
Braves.
Yeah.
Here, don't let the Braves get hot, Carlyon.
They're going to get hot. They're going to have, in July, they're going to go, 21 and
12 and
5.
2 or something. I would love that. But here's the deal, Frank. So I, being the good family man and good husband I was this weekend.
Yeah, I know you are.
I was running around, seeing everyone, both families and friends. I literally watched 0 innings of any of the 3 games. So should I continue to not watch?
Yes.
Knowing that we'll win.
Well, clearly you're the problem.
Yeah.
I don't think there's much debate.
Don't mess with a streak.
That's exactly
So I'll
right.
be not watching tonight, maybe. Who knows?
And you spent time with Gator Nation at church, I'm told. That's the word on the street.
Jake Slaughter's a good Ocallan, and like in a good Ocallan, he was sitting in the pew next to me at church yesterday.
Okay. At any point,
seems like a good guy.
At any point, did you try and give him a swim move just to see what's there? There's JJ
Test
swimming
him out
past
on a Sunday morning.
a spin move past Jake right in the middle of the pew. Can you see that?
I could.
He's
I
right
just
there.
threw the U in his face, and I said, "Get ready."
Oh, that's good. You saw your mom.
I
and dad?
did. Yeah, we had a great Easter. How about you?
We had a great one as well. It was a beautiful day.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to lament my golf real quick. Allow me to have a moment about me. I am so mad at my golf game. So I play my normal Saturday group. Okay. I go to 9, 1 under.
Wow.
I mean, I'm playing unreal.
Lights out.
I
Making putts.
Made everything. I go 1 under. I had 7 pars and a birdie on 3. I'm 1 under. Okay. I doubled 9. Okay. Shoot 37. I don't shoot very many 37, so I'm okay. Par 10. Okay. So I'm 1 over through 10. Now, the way the math works, Hayes, there's 8 holes left.
That's correct.
Okay. So I'm going to have a great round. Okay. Right?
Yes.
Bogey at every hole.
Really?
Shot 81. I had not made a bogey. I had 1 double and a birdie. I had not made a bogey and got to 11. What a freaking choker. Just a big, fat, lousy, sloppy choker. That's what you're dealing with. I don't know what you're dealing with in the rest of your life, but from 4 to 6, you're just dealing with one just big choker.
What happened?
I could not hit a green. I wasn't hacking it around. Miss a green, chip it up, missed a putt. Miss a green, chip it up, missed a putt. Miss a green, chip it up. But I was chipping them to 12, 15 feet, not 4 to 6 feet. Just couldn't make a putt. I just.
So we need to work on your scrambling.
Yeah, I get. Well, don't be afraid to hit a green, dumbass. How about that? How about don't be afraid to hit a green, dumbass?
Yeah. So the iron game and
the iron game was not good. I was just missing green. So anyway, so there you go. I've
got a hat.
Yeah.
That I think can help you.
Yeah.
It's got something that kind of hangs down and attaches to your
I'd love
chin.
that. I need that.
Yeah.
I need more.
It keeps your head.
I need every mechanism on the internet.
There's something to it.
Oh my goodness.
It'll change your life.
So 37, 30. I'm on my way to a 35. If I just par 9, shoot 37 and shoot in the 80s. So that's what I got.
Well, this is what I would say. Focus on the first 8.
Yeah, yes.
Because if you can focus on that first 8 and harness the good things you did then,
right,
and apply it to your next round,
that'd be okay.
Then maybe you'll have a better finish.
What's the old joke when a guy's playing really bad golf? He goes to the pros says, "Here's what I should do: take 2 weeks off. And here's what you should do: take 2 weeks off, then quit." Okay. It's one of the great lines of all time. Take 2 weeks off, then quit. So there's that. So maybe I'm that guy. So there's that. All right. A lot of things to talk about on the road. It is draft week. I'm not happy about Aberdeen going to Kentucky. I'll get to that in a minute.
A lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of. Well, that's it. Is the number out?
Well, the reports are it's $2 million.
Yeah, I would get
strong like 2. Maybe more,
guessed,
but a minimum of 2.
I would have guessed all of it. I'm going to start with that in just a second. I would have guessed all of $2 million.
Yeah.
So that's today's story, and I'll tell you my thoughts on that coming up in a bit. But it's Jags draft week. It's everybody else's draft week too, but it's around here. It's Jags draft week. I've been grinding on this. I'm telling you, I wonder if they're taking Ashton Genty if he's there. I mean, I know that's had all the traction, and I'm trying not to be recency guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, and And I've seen mocks now that the Patriots take him, so it's a non-factor. I mean, I've seen 2 or 3 mocks now where the Patriots take him.
Right. Which I think makes sense.
It
Their
does
best
make
back
sense.
is Ramondre Stevenson.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
There's almost a part of me that thinks the Patriots are going to take him, so it wouldn't matter what the Jags are going to. You're not going to trade up for him.
Right.
So, but I don't know. I can't put my head around. Mason Graham's still the smart pick, and that's still the safe pick if you're trying to mock. But I just get this gut. I just get this gut that it's hard to get a feeling.
My gut says it's not Mason Graham.
Yeah,
and I can't explain it.
Yeah.
I cannot explain. He'd be a good pick. I'd have no problem with them taking Mason Graham at 5. It just I can't.
For whatever reason,
something feels off with it.
Yes, for whatever reason, it feels like it might not be him. Yeah, I hear you. I what it feels like to me is I don't know. I'm with you. I'm not arguing with you on that. I don't know why I'm not arguing with you that it may not be Mason Graham. I can't explain it either, but I kind of share your opinion. But the bigger opinion to me is more about Genty than Graham.
I mean, honestly, you could do a point counterpoint.
Yeah.
And advocate on either side convincingly
of Genty
for 5 guys.
Yeah, well, right.
I
think. Good point. But if it's, but I really wonder today. And I think Will Campbell's starting to drop a little. I know you like offensive line there.
Mm-hmm.
But I really do wonder, just for the sake of our discussions today, if it did go Ward, Hunter, Carter, and for the sake of our discussion, Will Campbell. I don't think it's going to, but just
okay.
Ward, Hunter, Carter, Campbell, just for the sake of today's discussion.
Sure. So Genty's there at 5.
Genty's there. Graham's there. They're all there. Tyler Warren's there. Tet McMillan's there.
Right.
Hayes Carlyon's there. We're all there.
Don't take him.
but
a lot of red flags.
But you know what I mean? Everybody's there. Everybody's there but Campbell. The first 3. We have a pretty good idea, unless Shedeur Sanders climbs and the Giants, who have watched him 7 trillion times now, decide to go take him. We pretty much know who the first 3 are, barring Sanders coming up. I don't even think there's much debate there. Is that a safe point?
I think the first 3 are pretty much locked in, unless somebody does something stupid.
Unless the Giants,
which they might.
Unless the
Giants are a stupid team now. They didn't used to be, but they're a stupid team now. The Browns have always been stupid.
Right. The only thing that could keep the only thing that could keep it from being the first 3 we know, Ward first. And I think Hunter Carter, could be Carter Hunter, but I think Hunter Carter.
Yeah.
So Ward, Hunter Carter. The only thing, in my mind, the only thing that could change that is, I don't think the Browns are going to do it, is the Giants taking Shedeur Sanders. I'm not saying, that's the only, in my opinion, it's the only thing that could change that. And then Carter goes, then I think Carter does go to the Patriots. Okay, that's the only thing that could change it. So, so we'll see. Well, but it's a very interesting draft for the Jags. It's intriguing. I do sense that the Jags would like to trade back out of there, but I also sense they're not going to be able to because there's no one to go get. That's what I keep telling people, that you can't trade back unless someone wants to trade up.
Correct.
And so there's no one to go get to help the Jags trade back. So I don't think that's going to happen. So we'll talk a lot.
You can't just send a card into the league saying we'd like to trade back.
Correct. There's nobody up there. It's not a good quarterback draft, and so there's nobody to go. So we're going to talk a lot of draft today. At 4:40, we're going to go into some different rooms. We're going to go into the defensive line room today, which is an interesting room for them. That's the most interesting room of all of them for me. So we're going to go to
There's a lot of talent in that room, but have they been utilized properly?
Yeah, and I got a lot. Correct. I got a lot of thoughts about what they have there, how they deployed them last year, particularly last year. Not even the Mike Caldwell years, but particularly how they were.
And that wasn't great.
Yeah, no, but
the big issue was last year.
Yeah, because Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson have only been on the team 1 year.
Right. And Eric Armstead.
And Eric Armstead's only been on the team 1 year. Yeah, how was he deployed? So yeah.
We like you as a free safety.
Yeah. So that's a great point. So yeah. So I'm that's going to be it. So 4:40 is our back to the Jaguars conversation about the room, about what to do in the D-line room. And I got a lot of thoughts about that. And I'm going to get to those thoughts coming up today on the program. We're certainly talking about, again, there are no better golf analysts than me, I'll tell you. I mean, if you really want to know what's happening in the world of golf, I'm kind of your guy. which is, and I think it was maybe a month ago when I said Justin Thomas would never be back. Okay. And I did. Listen, I don't hide from those things. Okay. Freezing cold takes, let me have it. Okay. But I think he has shot 78 straight 58 since I said that. He has been so good since that moment. I mean, I remember looking at you and saying, Hayes, I just don't think there's anything left there. What do we do?
It's been great to see him.
Yeah, he's played great. Yeah, because he had a grind yesterday.
He did, and he's been the guy that shoots the great Thursday, but can't get 4 great rounds to get to the winner's circle. It's hard to believe he hadn't won prior to yesterday. Hadn't won since the PGA in 2022, so 3-year drought. But it's great for American golf.
That's right.
Because you looked at the Ryder Cup standings prior, like a week ago. I mean, it's Scheffler, Schauffele, Morikawa, and like 6 guys that I couldn't recognize if they walked into this building.
Yeah.
Because they play all the time.
That's right.
So they really needed, like now Justin Thomas is 6th in the Ryder Cup standings, which they need. Like if they're going to beat Europe is stacked and has all the momentum. So, I mean, it was great to see Justin Thomas from a Ryder Cup standpoint find that winning form. But yeah, he was in a long drought there, considering this is his 16th win.
Right.
And he didn't win for 3 years. That speaks to how elite he was.
That's right.
Prior to the drought.
And he really, and you could tell he was feeling it yesterday with every opportunity because he's young. I mean, for a while there were like 6 guys within 2 shots.
Yeah.
I mean they were 15 and 14 and they were 14 and 13 maybe. They were locked in for a long time.
It was one of the weirdest things. So I forgot it was on. And so I realized it late, and I almost turned it not knowing if it would still actually be on.
Right. So
I turned it as he is setting up the putt. I saw one shot. The final shot.
The winning putt.
Live. Oh, and it was great, and I was really happy for him. I wish I'd watched the whole thing. I did just sort of slip by me.
I was watching a bunch of different stuff, but I watched at some point. All right,
what a putt to win it.
What a putt to win it. And he played, and it was great to have that great putt to win it because he played great. So we'll certainly talk. We'll talk about that. The NBA's underway. We'll talk about that. Aaron Rodgers popping off again. This time about the Jets. We'll get to that. We'll talk a little baseball. The Braves, as JJ said, now on their way to another World Series appearance, it would appear. So we'll certainly get to that. We got a lot of fun things. But I want to start with the Denzel Aberdeen thing. Denzel Aberdeen is headed to Kentucky. I did not see that one coming. By the way, I didn't. So.
I agree. I thought it was going to be like a program. I kind of bought Georgia. I thought the money would be what he got.
Yeah.
I thought somebody would pay him stupid money.
Yeah.
I didn't think it would be Kentucky.
Yeah.
But it's hilarious that Kentucky's having to overspend on
a Florida backup. A Florida backup. But I have more clarity now on what happened. So we'll certainly get to that.
He's a great player. I was sad to see him go. He'll be great at Kentucky.
Yeah, there's no question. So let's start with Aberdeen. We'll talk Jaguars. We'll go into the defensive line room at 4:40. We got a lot of fun stuff to do. Glad you're with us. It's 1010XL and 90 on a Best Bet Monday. It's 1010XL and 92.5 FM.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
If you need an insurance agent, I'll recommend the best guy in town, State Farm agent Craig Dewhurst. Call him at 940-9740. Really good guy, really good agent. Life insurance, homeowners, automotive, you name it, he'll handle it for you. Tell him what you need. He'll assess your whole situation. What kind of coverage do you need? How much coverage? What should your deductible be? What do you make and how does it fit your cost and your rates? You will love dealing with Craig. What a nice guy he is and how he'll help you get the right answers. The best in the business. Craig Dewhurst from State Farm, 940-9740.
Good time, bad time?
Time is an illusion. There is only the now.
So now's a good time?
It's a good time for 1010XL.
Hi, folks. I'm Frank Frangie. If you have a sweet tooth like me, the sweetest desserts in town come from Spoonful Bakery. Spoonful is an online bakery. They deliver boxes of assorted desserts right to your home or office. They're so good, and they make for great gifts for friends or clients. And if you want custom orders, wedding cakes or birthday cakes, or catered desserts for an event, they are the best. Log on to spoonful-bakery.com or call them at 904-515-4984. That's Spoonful Bakery for the sweetest desserts in town.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you, Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
When it's time for new tires, you can count on Big Chief Tire for quality and value. Frank Frangie here. Their expert team will help you quickly find the right fit, ensuring a safe, comfortable ride. With quality options, fair prices, and quick installation, you'll be back on the road in no time. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 today to schedule your appointment and roll into 2025 with great confidence. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rolling.
Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town, setting the standard in our hometown. Quality service, the best around. Coolidge is the cat that cares about your heating and about your air. Cool Cats Heating and Cooling, the coolest cats in town.
What does your dream backyard look like? Hey, it's Joe C. and my friends at CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living can design an outdoor kitchen layout custom built to your taste and lifestyle. You dream it, they can build it. CSS Fireplaces and Outdoor Living. Visit cssoutdoor.com.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
My son had a meniscus surgery a couple of years ago. When it's smooth as silk, Dr. Kevin Murphy did it. Was playing tennis in 2 weeks. This is Patrick Malarkey, and I highly recommend
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
For your chance to win 4-day weekend VIP passes to the Welcome to Rockville Festival in Daytona Beach, May 15th to the 18th, text the word ROCK to the 1010XL text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, maybe even your kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Don't let divorce take more than it has to.
Offices in Jacksonville. Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's attorneys. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Rick Julius, licensed in Pennsylvania only. Online at CordellCordell.com. Attorney Joe Cordell.
Divorce changes your life and your children's lives. Whether that change is good or bad depends to a great extent upon the attorney you choose. So interview more than one attorney and ask about experience, specifically trial experience. And oh, by the way, be sure to include Cordell & Cordell in those interviews.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Jacksonville area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com, Jacksonville, Florida. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Announcer is not a licensed attorney.
Hi, I'm Mac with Baker Glass. If you've got fogged up windows, let me help. We'll replace them with clear, insulated units that brighten up your home. People say we're fast, friendly, and reliable. Just check out our Google reviews. Call me today. Baker Glass. No one treats you better.
Hey, it's Matt Hays. There was a time when if you handed me a bread basket at a restaurant, you better watch your fingers. Pizza, pasta, bread. Carbs were absolutely my weakness. I'd be lying if I said they didn't have me hooked. Then Awaken 180 came into my life. I've been down every diet road there is, but this is different. It's not just another diet. It's a total reset of how you see food. You know that carb craving that we all accepted as normal? That's gone for me now. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoy the good stuff, but here's the difference. I no longer feel like I need them. So when the server puts that bread basket on the table, I just smile, sit back, and say, nah, I'm good. That feeling of control is all thanks to Awaken 180. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180. Hacker lost more than 110. Baloo is on his way, and you can lose whatever you want to lose. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is. Awaken 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely. It's a clear path to success without disappointment. Awaken 180 has changed my life, and it will change yours too. Give them a call at 844-346-1800 or go to awaken180weightloss.com. Trust me, you'll thank yourself.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
We thank our friends from the Best Bet. The Run Good Poker Series kicks off this week. Event number 1 is a $400 no-limit hold'em, $200,000 guarantee. That Run Good main event. Everyone's talking about that thing. There's a mega satellite into it as well, by the way. That happens on Saturday. This coming Saturday. 5-package guarantee, so you get the drill. That Run Good Poker Series is a good one now, and it's going on at the Best Bet, so head to the Best Bet. You can find out all about what they're doing out there. BestBetJacks.com. Frangie and Carlyon La Selva with you. All right. So Denzel Aberdeen, who's a big part, or certainly a significant part of Florida's national championship. He was their 7th man, but he and Thomas Houck were the 2 guys off the bench. Micah Handlogden was the 3rd guy. They only played 8. I thought he complemented the other 3 guards so well. He was the tallest of the group. He was the most athletic of the group, although obviously Elijah Martin's very athletic. He was physical. He could defend. He made enough shots. You couldn't leave him open from 3 or he would make it. He was their best dunker, and he was poised to have a really good year next year, paired with Xavier Lee in the backcourt. He loved being at Florida. He's from Florida. He's from the Orlando area. He was the longest commit they had. He's the only guy left on the team that had committed that was recruited and committed to the Mike White staff, which is why people thought he was going to land at Georgia. So it bugs me that he's not going to be there because I'm a real fan of Aberdeen. I think he's a really good player. I said this earlier in the year. He might be the best NBA prospect on their team because he's got an NBA game. He's got an NBA body. He's long. He's 6'5". Clayton's going to play in the NBA, and he was still the best college player Florida's ever had. But I'm not convinced he'll be a good NBA player. He's small. He's got to overcome small. This guy's not small. 6'5" is a good-sized guard. So he's physical, and so I think he's going to be I think he's going to the NBA. I think Denzel Aberdeen's a good player. But I will not fault him on this. From what I understand, Florida had about $8 million to use on basketball. That's the number you're hearing. Well, if you got $8 million, my guess is, and I know that Clayton got about $1 million to come back last year. Did you know the number's a hair over $1 million to come back? $1 million.
And if it was this year, it'd be like 3.
It'd be way more.
It might even be 4.
Yeah, it may be more if he's coming back. But they've got 8 to work with.
Right.
And my guess is that Condon, Xavier Lee, Houck, I'm guessing here, might all be getting about 1.5. That'd be my guess. And my guess is Aberdeen was going to be in Handlockton were going to be closer to the low 1s. Now I'm guessing at that. But if Xavier Lee, Condon, and Houck get 1.5, okay, if that number's right, that's 4.5. If another $2 million go to Aberdeen and Handlockton, that's 6.5. If 8 is the number, you got 1.5 to go to the rest of the team. So the Isaiah Browns and the Clav Jobs of the world are all getting what, 250, 300? Would you? I may be off, but it's got to be close. It's something like that, right? I don't think Florida's got a player getting 2. I don't. I'm not sure, Hayes, they got a player getting 1.5. If Walter Clayton got $1 million, which is what we're told he got, then I'm thinking, who would get the most? Xavier Lee to come there, Condon. Yes. They'd be the most, right?
They'd be the most because you always have to pay more for the guy who isn't on your campus.
Agreed.
Now
Agreed.
You're in a bidding war.
So do you agree with me? It's at most 1.5 for one of those guys. One of them get 2.
I think it could be higher.
Lee could get 2, and they only got 8. I think.
I wouldn't be surprised if they're prepared to give Condon $2 million.
Because
and I would think Xavier Lee probably got 2 to go to Florida. So that's probably half.
Then that's half the
those
money.
2.
Because 8, I'm pretty sure 8's the number.
Yeah. I think that's fair. And then and then Houck, I think you have to give big money to.
So that means everybody else is getting a couple $100,000.
That's what I would think.
Yeah, and you might be right. And so I don't know, but that's so. My guess is that Aberdeen's agent started shopping him. I think that it's a free agent. You're a free agent. Your agent's job is to shop you. By the way, the only way the agent gets paid is if you leave. Okay, I mean, he might get a percentage of the whatever, but that you were going to get. So my guess is Aberdeen's agent starts shop. My guess is Denzel wasn't unhappy. My guess is Denzel he loved being at Florida. He talked about it how many times well before he left. He could have left last year, but he stayed to be part of something special, and it was the ultimate something special.
Yeah, because he got pushed out by Elijah Martin.
Yeah, he did.
And he was a good soldier about it.
And he stayed there and was a big part of it. And nobody, I got to be honest with you. Before the season, I remember thinking, he'll probably help some. He's a good athlete. I remember he'd won the dunk contest in the scrimmage. But I never thought he'd be the factor he was. I wouldn't have been surprised if Isaiah Brown went by him. Or, I wouldn't have, or if Clavjar started playing more because of the way he shoots the ball. I never thought Denzel Aberdeen would become what he did, but he did. So the agent starts shopping him. And, okay, you're probably getting maybe $800,000 to $1 million at Florida. You're probably not getting Condon, Houck, Xavier Lee money.
No.
So let's assume they're getting 1.5, maybe it's 2, whatever it is. You're getting $1 million. You're getting $800,000. You're getting 1.1. You're somewhere in there. And I don't think he was getting 1.1. I'm guessing, so I don't know that.
I don't think so either.
I do know the number 8 is the number, but I'm guessing he probably was at the top $1 million, maybe less. Agent gets a hold of Kentucky, probably get a hold of a number of people. Kentucky says, "Listen, we have more than 8. All right, we. Sorry, Mark Stoops, but if you're not getting 12 of our 20 or whatever the number is, Mark Stoops. I don't know that Mark Stoops is getting as much as basketball. I don't care how many teams. I don't care how many players he has. Would it shock you if they both got 10? Or
I would be surprised if basketball doesn't get more.
Yeah, even more than football.
At Kentucky.
Yeah.
Kentucky doesn't base their identity on football. It's good. When they're good in football, they enjoy it.
Right.
But they base their identity on the men's basketball team.
And if Denzel Aberdeen is getting 2, which is the word that's out there, then they're probably spending way more than 8. Because I love him. I'm a big fan. But if Denzel Aberdeen's getting 2.
Yeah, because it's a crowded backcourt at Kentucky. There's not a guarantee he plays the minutes he'd have played at Florida.
Right.
So it basically tells you, it was, which, again, this isn't a knock on Denzel, but it's clear that it was, look, I need to maximize whatever my financial worth is today.
Right.
That's got to be maximized, and playing time and things like that, I'm not worried about.
And, by the way, he's confident enough to think he's going to have that playing time. That's what the good players are. But so Kentucky can spend 12, let's say, so paying Denzel Aberdeen, who's a good player, 2, they can afford it.
And again, you're not really shackled by that. That's the cap once the revenue sharing comes in. But the NIL is still there.
And Kentucky's got to have.
Yeah, if there's a Kentucky booster that's I've already contributed my $5 million, but here's a couple more because I really like this Aberdeen guy.
So my guess is, Hays, that the reason this came out of nowhere, because nobody saw this, nobody that I talked to saw this coming, is the agent did his job, and the agent went back to Aberdeen and said, "Listen, we got 2." And then the agent went to Florida, or whoever makes that conversation, Denzel or the agent, and said, "Look, we got 2." My guess is Florida. I don't think Florida said, "The hell with you, see ya." I think my guess is Golden talked to him, probably went to Strickland, probably went to the NIL, probably looked at their number and said, and tried to do more than they. By the way, this is me guessing. But at the end of the day, even if Florida, let's say Florida was at 900, and Aberdeen got 2. I guess Florida could move some dollars around and get to 1.2, right, or whatever. They weren't getting anywhere near it. So Denzel says, "Guys, I love it here, and I'd love to stay. But if it's $2 million versus $1 million, $1 million is a lot of money, man."
And I don't know that he has the professional future that you think he might.
Well,
I don't know that he'll make money in the NBA.
And I don't either. Yeah. I think he's going to be in the league, but I certainly wouldn't bet on it. So here's a guy making $1 million more. I can't fault him.
He's got to take it.
Yes, I can't fault him one bit.
And look, Florida fans aren't going to want to hear this, but it's also the chance to play at Kentucky. That is a special place. If you're a basketball player growing up, playing at Rupp Arena, playing for that tradition, that's got to be attractive. Yeah. Well, the basketball team, they're heroes in Gainesville right now. But it's a football campus, and it was a football fan base and will always be that. At Kentucky, you're the star. If you're on the basketball team, you're better than the starting running back. You're better than the starting receiver. You probably are, even if you're a good basketball player, more important on campus than the quarterback.
Right.
I mean, it's just a different paradigm.
Oh, there's no question. The best player on the Kentucky basketball team is a bigger star than their quarterback. Not even close.
Right.
And so anyway, I don't fault him. I think he's a good young guy. He's respected by everybody. He did what he had to do financially.
He won a ring.
Mike, and he contributed to that ring. He didn't just sit there and celebrate at the end. He contributed mightily to that ring. So as much as I hate we're in a free agent world. I don't fault him. I don't. And look, these professional athletes leave for $1 million or $2 million more, and they're probably already set for life. Right. This is a kid that's not. I assume. Yes. And this is a kid that. So I don't fault. I don't love the world we're in, but I'll say this: if we're not in this world, then Florida doesn't have Walter Clayton Jr. and doesn't have the ring.
Right.
Okay? Florida's got a ring because of this transfer portal we're in. That's why. Those 3 days I had in San Antonio don't happen if there's not a portal. So if I'm thrilled about those 3 days, which I am, every Gator fan is on top of the world. Well, if we're on top of the world because the portal exists, we can't be mad that we lose one. It giveth, it taketh away. And I would ask you not to be mad at this nice young kid who did his part, who helped the Gators win a national championship, and now has a chance to be, if not set for life, set for better than he ever thought he would be. I cannot fault him.
No, I can't either. I mean, if people want to be mad at him, that's their prerogative. But, I mean, it's just free agency. That's what we have now in collegiate sports. I'll say this. Look, Florida is going to take the money that they would have given Aberdeen, and Todd Golden will go find a really good guard with that money. So if you're Florida, I mean, I would have loved to have had Denzel Aberdeen on the team. I think he's got a chance to, be somebody that can average 15 a game when he's getting big minutes. But I also have complete confidence that Florida will take the money that Denzel Aberdeen was going to make,
right?
And they will find somebody that will either be the equivalent of Denzel Aberdeen or be better than Denzel Aberdeen.
And if Todd Golden hasn't proven that to you yet, well, then you're not paying attention. Now look, he could take another step and be a great player, and Todd could miss a little bit on a guy. But your point is a good one. He's probably going to get a really good player in there. He's proven that. He's proven that he can go get really good players. So I agree with you. And so now, one last thing I'll say about this. I do think because of his style of play and the way they play, it is going to hurt to not have him. Now, without knowing who they're going to bring in, it's going to hurt. I'm not going to say, well, they didn't need him anyway. I don't believe that. I think it's going to hurt to not have him. But I get it. I understand it. I've watched enough of the. Is it A.J. Brown? Is that the brother of Isaiah Brown?
Yes.
I've watched. I don't love what I see. He's just a standstill shooter, I think, and so I don't see where he's nearly as good as Aberdeen. Isaiah Brown, if he was as good as Aberdeen, he would be playing instead of sitting on the bench while Aberdeen was. So, but you're right. Florida's going to be okay, but that's the world we live in. That's the free agent world we live in. I don't fault anybody for it, and whoever manages that the best is the team that winds up holding the trophy. And in some years, going on a river cruise at 2:30 in the morning while holding the trophy. And so Denzel Aberdeen to Kentucky. I will say, final thought. I'd have preferred it be UCLA. I'd have preferred to not play him. I will be honest. I would have preferred. Everybody said, boy, if he goes to Georgia, I'm going to be furious. Well, I would have way rather he goes to Georgia because I think Florida's going to be better than Georgia.
Right.
No matter how many Denzel Aberdeens Georgia goes and gets. I don't know if they're going to be better than Kentucky. We'll see what they
I'm not worried about Kentucky.
Yeah. So we'll see what they wind up doing. All right. Denzel Aberdeen leaves Florida. He goes to Kentucky. That story will continue to develop as Florida continues to mine the portal as best it can. Let's get into Jaguars football. We've gone to a different position every day at 4:30. How about the defensive line? And I'm gonna put them all in one room. The edges, the three techniques, the shades, they're all going in there together. What do they have on the roster? How good will those players be, and how will that affect what they draft? That's next, so stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
It begins with a dream and a plan, and ends with those two magical words.
Touchdown, Jacksonville!
1010XL.
This is Hays Carlyon for Kingfish Pest Control. Mosquito season is upon us, but don't let them take over. The secret to a bite-free yard is starting today with Kingfish Pest Control. Their 3-step mosquito defense process stops them before they can spread. Eliminate breeding areas, build a protective barrier around your yard, and monthly treatments to keep them away all season long. The earlier you start, the fewer mosquitoes you'll have to fight. Don't let those pests ruin your outdoor fun. Call Kingfish Pest Control, proud partner of the Jaguars.
It's here. Beard's Diamonds' first ever massive sale on all diamond stud earrings and all tennis bracelets. Now through Sunday at 4 p.m. Save 20%, 30%, even 40%. Beautiful diamond stud earrings and gorgeous diamond tennis bracelets. Perfect for any occasion. Take advantage of huge markdowns. Best prices ever. Corporate-owned big box stores could never offer this extreme value, but locally owned Beards can. And it's happening now through Sunday. Up to 40% off. Beards Diamonds, St. John's Town Center. Shop local, shop Beards.
This is the Mangler. Years of playing football coupled with lifestyle left my feet mangled with neuropathy. I was experiencing burning, tingling, and numbness. I spoke with 2 foot specialists and they told me there was no cure. They were wrong. I found Dr. Nate Riddle in Ponte Vedra. After utilizing his neuropathy treatment for only 2 weeks, I noticed a difference in my feet. I was regaining my feeling and balance. If you want relief from nerve pain, call Dr. Nate for a free consultation at Riddle Wellness, 904-395-5598.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
1010XL's draft previews are brought to you by Hurricane Grill and Wings.
Mason Graham from Michigan has been a player many have connected to Jacksonville in this year's draft. Graham provides activity, effort, strength, and quickness, with a first step that makes the defensive tackle's interior disruption inevitable. And although he doesn't have the freakish size, length, or athleticism that others might offer, he is tough, consistent, and productive. And that's what the Teal and Black need inside.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband-wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at goosehead.com.
Jumbo Shrimp Baseball is home this week at the newly renovated Five-Star Ballpark. The Jumbo Shrimp take on the AAA Atlanta Braves. Don't miss Thirsty Thursday and Fireworks Friday and Saturday. Baseball all weekend. Tickets start at just $5. JackShrimp.com for tickets. Jumbo Shrimp Baseball. Affordable family fun.
If fishing is in your DNA, hop in the boat with Captain Kevin. It's the Ring Power Fishing Forecast Show, brought to you by Awaken 180 Weight Loss and Royal Pest Services.
Thursday nights at 6
on 1010XL AM.
Bueller, stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey man, what's that noise?
Do you hear it too? You can hear it, right?
Yeah, it's your air conditioner. It's like a grinding or a rattling.
And it's getting on your nerves, right? Like it's eating at your brain and you can't think straight? But it just keeps grinding and squeaking and taunting and nagging. You're not good enough. You're a failure. Why can't you be more like your sister, the lawyer?
Yeah, I don't hear that last part so much.
Yeah, but it's not cool, right, Jason?
It could definitely be cooler. At Bueller Air and Plumbing, we can totally repair whatever that noise is and get your AC working smoothly and silently. We fix these things all the time.
So I won't be a failure?
Life should be enjoyed. If some irritating, broken air conditioner is making you crazy, you could miss it.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
It's Guggen Golf time. If you and a friend would like to play in this year's Coastal Equipment Guggen Open Golf Tournament, it's May 19th at Hidden Hills Golf Club. Text Guggen, G-O-O-G-A-N, to the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures at 641-1010 for your chance to win. Great swag and prizes will be had throughout the course from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, TopDressing.com, and Cool Cats Heating and Air. You can win a birdie grill from Stonecore thanks to our sponsors, Ahead, Surfside Pools, and Ackerman Urology.
Beat the spring cleaning rush with big savings and priority booking by calling our heroes at Zero Res. This month, get Zero Resified from Jacksonville's #1 carpet cleaner. You'll get 25% off all cleaning services. That's right, 25% off. Check out 8,000 raving customer reviews if you don't believe me online. Call them, 904-287-5727, or visit their website, ZeroResJacksonville.com. Zero Res, spell it forwards or backwards. It's the right way to clean.
Zero Res.
The housing market is as busy as ever on the First Coast. And if you've moved in or moved on, make sure you have a team of trained electricians ready to help. American Electrical can make sure you're up to date electrically and maximize your living experience. Smart home automation services, home theater systems, outdoor and dock lighting, and backup generators. American Electrical can do it all. A team you can trust with highly trained technicians ensuring you have the best living experience. American-Electrical.com, a leader on the First Coast and powered by professionalism.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Best Bet's not just for the men, by the way. Don't miss the Run Good Ladies event, an ambassador poker event. That's next week at Best Bet Jacksonville. Best Bet Jacksonville is located on Monument Road. And, of course, the other great locations are Best Bet Orange Park on 17 and Best Bet St. Augustine, which is located just off of I-95 as you get into St. Johns County. Frangie and Carlyon, JJ LaSelva with you. Let's talk. Let's go into the room. The latest peek we're going to take is into the defensive line room. Big picture, Hays, before we get into specifics. How good is the defensive line room in your opinion?
It's one of the biggest conundrums because you have to decide how much responsibility did a bad defensive coordinator share last year with the unit's failures and Ryan Nielsen. And I'm of the belief he was the lion's share of the problem. So I think they've got talent. I think they've got more talent than maybe what we realize. I just think they had a very, for whatever reason, and he's gone on now and he's got another job up in Buffalo. He's not a coordinator, but life moves on for Ryan Nielsen and life moves on for the Jaguars. But, from a professional standpoint, he was a disaster last year. And so it's hard for me to really get a gauge on what I think the Jaguars have throughout their defense, but particularly the front, because I look at a front that should be very good. I think Josh Hines-Allen and Trayvon Walker are exactly what you want in terms of bookend edge rushers. I like the Mason Smith pick once he kind of got up to speed on what it takes to be a professional. I thought he, by his own admission, this is his words, he said it about halfway through the year when he started to come on, that there were some lessons that he had to learn. But I was encouraged with what I saw out of Mason Smith. And I liked him coming out of LSU. So I think they've got something good there. Obviously, Eric Armstead playing inside as opposed to edge should greatly benefit the room. It's one of the biggest mysteries as to why the plan was to employ him for the first time in his career on the outside last year. So, and Jordan Jefferson, they may have something there with a fourth round pick from last year. So they still need edge depth. And I would take a defensive tackle because it's such a rich group. But the more that I dive into it, if they take Mason Graham, fine. But I don't think they have to do it. I'm of the opinion it was the scheme that hurt them more than their talent last year. And again, I don't know if Anthony Campanile will be any good either, but it's not going to be a high bar that he's going to have to clear to be the best defensive coordinator they've had, not just last year, but even in the 2 years that Mike Caldwell was here.
All right, let me assess first what you said. Absolutely the scheme was the problem because here's the evidence. You don't go from Josh Hines-Allen having 17 and a half sacks and Trayvon Walker having 10 to Trayvon Walker having decent numbers but quiet numbers and Josh Hines-Allen not having nearly the numbers he had. That doesn't just happen. You watch the sack leaders around the league. Von Miller for all those years, and all those guys, and T.J. Watt most recently, and then back to J.J. Watt. And you look at all the guys over the years that have been Myles Garrett, their sack numbers don't go down very often. So it's not like not like a hitter in baseball who hits 295 one year and 240 the next. Baseball players tend to do that. Sack numbers, once you can get there, you get there, unless they completely change what they ask you to do. So I don't think there's any question. I agree with you, Hays. But here's what I see in the defensive line room. I think they've got two very good bookend rush ends. One elite one in Josh Hines-Allen, one in Trayvon Walker, who's a damn good player, not a great player. But they have two good players there. There's no question about that. They badly lack a third edge, and they've got to find that. It can't be Miles Cole or Yasir Abdullah this year. Eric Armstead is going to play inside. I hope there's something left with Eric. He's a good person. He's very involved in charitable stuff all over. I hope there's something left. I don't know that there is, but he needs to play inside. But the biggest concern where I don't think there's anybody there that can impact the team is the backup edge. As for tackle, that's the biggest intrigue. I say tackle, the two inside spots. That's the biggest intrigue on the team. Let me tell you what you got there. Forget Armstead for a second. You got a nose guard who was very good a few years ago and then had an illness. And Devon Hamilton, and we all know the story now, who's not been himself since then, but he was very good before that. You have two draft picks in Mason Smith and Jordan Jefferson, and if you reach a little bit, even a third draft pick in Tyler Lacey, who it looks like there's something there. Those guys are not busts yet. It looks like there's something there. But the problem, Hays, is there may not be. See, that's the problem. You have three different guys that you drafted that might all be good players, or none of them might be good players. You rarely get in that situation. You usually have a veteran who's very good, a veteran a little bit long in the tooth, one rookie you're hopeful of, a free agent guy, maybe another. It's rare that there's three guys that the previous regime drafted in different years, Jordan Jefferson and Mason Smith last year, Tyler Lacey before that. But it's three guys that you still have hopes in, but you don't know about any of them. So none of them have ever flashed, yet all of them have shown potential. So that's the conundrum, if you will, is what do you have there? Now, if Anthony Campanile and his coaches say, listen, I like what I see from Mason Smith on tape. I like what I see from Jordan Jefferson. I think they do. Tyler Lacey. I think this group of coaches, from what I'm being told, thinks those three guys might be pretty good, which is why you didn't need to be as active in free agency at that spot, because you weren't at all, which is why you get a young player that could fit right in. So that's the intrigue. I'm with you on the Mason Graham pick. It's almost like he's been the pick for so long that maybe he's now not the pick. And I don't. There's no intel on that. They haven't shown that. The Jags have never shown their hand if that's not where they are.
Mason Graham was being mocked to the Jaguars before Liam Cohen and James Gladstone and Tony Baselli were even hired in their current roles. That's correct.
And by the way, I think Mason Graham is a good player. He is a quick. He plays low. He's not a big guy. He knows how to play. He's a smart player, and I think he's going to be a good NFL football player. I really do. But at his size, he's not going to be dominant unless he's Aaron Donald. Now, people go, well, he can do it. Aaron Donald did it. Well, Aaron Donald's Aaron Donald. That's like saying if you're an overhand passer, you can do it because Tom Brady did it.
Right.
It doesn't work like that. They don't come around very often. And so more times than not, it's unlikely that a guy, but I think he's going to be good. I think he's a good player. And I think wherever Mason Graham lands, whether it's here or somewhere else, he's going to be a darn good football player. But I don't think at 5 overall, you want a guy to dominate games, to take over games. Look, with all due respect to Trayvon Walker, he was first overall, and he doesn't dominate games. He's a good player. So I don't know. And I think Mason Graham might still be the pick. I guess what I'm saying is it wouldn't shock me now if he's not. I think that's kind of what you were saying. So having said that, we told you what we think they have. Eric Armstead, I hope there's something left. Mason Smith, Jordan Jefferson, Tyler Lacey, 3 recent draft picks. Did they think there's something there? Devon Hamilton is a guy that before had a health issue was pacing toward being one heck of a two-down player. He's only a two-down guy, but was going to be one heck of a two-down player. Mason Graham's a three-down player, but I don't know that he can dominate any of those downs. So it's going to be very interesting. So for me, as we look through the room, I think there's a significant need there. If you don't take Mason Graham at 5, I don't think you can wait very long before you address that room. Now, I think they may like their inner guys, those three guys, more than I do. I think you've got to address the room. If you don't go Mason Graham at 5, and if you don't do it at 36, Hays, I don't think you can go much longer without getting a defensive tackle. You've got to get one guy in one of those premier. You can't get to Saturday. You can't get to Saturday and you haven't taken a defensive tackle, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think edge is right there with that. I mean, I think they're both big needs, and they should be. And I think that will line up with the philosophy of what the Jaguars' new brass is trying to accomplish, which is become much better on both sides of the ball. I just think with defensive tackle, you can take advantage of the depth. I mean, there will be a good guy there in the third round. And so you've got 2 picks in that round. That could be your defensive line round. That could be D tackle and edge coming in the third round. That would make a lot of sense. The edge sets up well there as well. So that's it's, to me, they're both big needs, but they're both big needs that you can take advantage of the glut of talent in this draft at both those spots and use that to your advantage. And that's what the Jaguars, in my opinion, should do.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see. Of the 10 picks, so I'm going to go in terms of need. I hate to do it again, but I'm going to go at least B+ here. I won't go A in terms of need because they do have 2 good ends, and I do think they like what they might have with Jordan Jefferson, Mason Smith, and Tyler Lacey. So I'm not going to go A like I did some others, but it's still a high B for me in terms of needs.
Yeah, I would say so. I think that, I mean, I think it's in the A range for me. I think it's a strong need at both spots because they just have no plan beyond Hines Allen and Trayvon Walker at all. And it's shown up for the last 2 years. And so, I mean, that should be an error that Tony Baselli was able to point out to James Gladstone and Liam Cohen on day 1 of their Jaguars employment.
And I'm guessing he did. So that's going to be high. They don't have to get I mean, if they take Jalen Walker at 5 for that reason of helping provide some depth at edge on obvious passing downs, then it's fine. I don't think it has to be that high of a priority, but I would want to get a backup edge guy with one of those 2 third-round picks at the latest. And then D tackle, I just don't think you can ignore the spot. I don't think the need necessarily is great as some believe, but why wouldn't you take advantage if this is one of the strongest defensive tackle drafts that we've seen in a decade? Why wouldn't you take advantage of that when you're getting a player in the third round that in most years would probably be a second round or maybe even higher, depending on how scarce the class was at the defensive tackle position. So, yeah, I think they're both really strong needs. And again, they've got to get more physical on both sides of the ball. You can't do that by drafting running backs and receivers and corners. So, I mean, at some point, you got to put your money where your mouth is, and the draft actually has to reflect the identity of which you're trying to build the roster around. And to that end, Hays, and by their own admission, and they did not take a defensive lineman in free agency. Now, they took a bunch of offensive linemen. So, again, if you're making both lines better, it would mean you've got to be very robust in your pursuit of a defensive lineman here. We'll take a break. We got 1 hour to go in the program. Let's talk some college football. I got some fun college football questions for you. That's next. Stay with us.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC,
Equal housing lender.
There's a reason why people love to listen to play-by-play on the radio.
This is unbelievable what we're witnessing. I'm serious.
1010XL, Jacksonville's home for play-by-play.
I'm Holt Harrell with Harrell & Harrell. Choosing a law firm after an accident is an important decision. So how do you decide? With so many messages on air, I know it can all sound the same. At Harrell & Harrell, we believe what sets us apart is our commitment to you. When you've been injured in an accident, you need help from someone you know, someone you can trust. Harrell & Harrell, a name you know, a name you trust. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Offices, Jacksonville.
We're giving away free AC inspections to our wonderful customers who now call and schedule. But you must act today. A deal this good won't last forever. Call 904-862-6769. DuckDuckAC.com. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection. Attorney Joe Cordell.
Divorce changes your life and your children's lives. Whether that change is good or bad depends to a great extent upon the attorney you choose. So interview more than one attorney and ask about experience, specifically trial experience. And oh, by the way, be sure to include Cordell & Cordell in those interviews.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Jacksonville area attorneys. Joseph Cordell, licensed in Missouri and Illinois only. CordellCordell.com, Jacksonville, Florida. Lisa Cargis, Florida resident partner. Announcer is not a licensed attorney.
Hey, it's Matt Hays. There was a time when if you handed me a bread basket at a restaurant, you better watch your fingers. Pizza, pasta, bread. Carbs were absolutely my weakness. I'd be lying if I said they didn't have me hooked. Then Awaken 180 came into my life. I've been down every diet road there is, but this is different. It's not just another diet. It's a total reset of how you see food. You know that carb craving that we all accepted as normal? That's gone for me now. Don't get me wrong. I still enjoy the good stuff, but here's the difference. I no longer feel like I need them. So when the server puts that bread basket on the table, I just smile, sit back, and say, nah, I'm good. That feeling of control is all thanks to Awaken 180. I lost 40 pounds in 9 weeks on Awaken 180. Hacker lost more than 110. Baloo is on his way, and you can lose whatever you want to lose. It doesn't matter what your goal weight is. Awaken 180 weight loss will get you there quickly and safely. It's a clear path to success without disappointment. Awaken 180 has changed my life, and it will change yours too. Give them a call at 844-346-1800 or go to awaken180weightloss.com. Trust me, you'll thank yourself.
Hi, I'm Jeff Breyer, president of Lifetime Enclosures and Lifetime Flooring.
And I'm Zach Breyer. When my dad started in business in 1990, I wasn't even born yet.
That's true. And after 35 years and nearly 20,000 satisfied customers, we literally have a showroom in every neighborhood.
So whether you need more outdoor living space with a glass or screen enclosure, or you're looking to transform your home with new flooring, we've got you covered.
Visit our websites, or better yet, do yourself a favor and stop by one of our showrooms on Phillips Highway to experience the Lifetime difference and receive 20% off your purchase.
Listening that fits your schedule perfectly.
Absolutely brilliant.
Go on demand.
Ad-free shows after the live show's end.
How about that? Channeled by
Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
Frank Frangie here for Stanley Pools. If you're dreaming of putting in a pool this year, choosing the right company is the most important decision you'll make. I've trusted Stanley Pools to build my pool, renovate my pool, and maintain my pool. Stanley Pools has been the best in the business since 1988, and they're still family-owned. Call them today at 904-269-7277 or find them online at StanleyPoolsFL.com. That's Stanley Pools, a family tradition of fine swimming pools.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
Instant Keys saves the day if you have lost or broken keys. They can program new keys and remotes for nearly every make and model of vehicle at a fraction of the dealership cost. Fast, honest, and reliable locksmith service. Call 722-1111.
Instant Keys. Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you.
At the First Coast YMCA, you'll find much more than just a gym. We offer many ways to help you become more active, reach your weight loss goals, and find your inner strength. Membership at the Y includes state-of-the-art facilities, a huge variety of fitness classes, and programs for all ages. It's easy to join the Y since it's affordable for all incomes. The Y is a great place to make connections and experience something new. Visit the YMCA near you or online at fcymca.org.
WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Getting a pool? David Garrard here. I just did. But before they dug, I called Clearwater Irrigation, and they capped off all my sprinkler lines so the pool company could just dig away.
Then when your pool's finished, we'll install your sprinkler system back to full coverage.
And now my backyard oasis is getting watered beautifully.
And maybe then, Dave, I could take another quick dip.
Bigger swimming trunks, John. Much bigger.
Clearwater Irrigation.
And drainage, too.
Collisions happen on every play in football. Collisions also happen every day on the road. If you need auto body repair, from a $30 job to a $30,000 job, trust San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update, brought to you by Riddle Wellness. The Jaguars' new quarterback coach, Spencer Whipple, is a guy who goes way back with Liam Cohen, as his dad, Mark Whipple, was Cohen's head coach at UMass. Spencer Whipple was also teammates with him before the two coached together at UMass as well. On the Ozone podcast with Jaguars senior writer John Osher, Whipple shared what he admires about Liam Cohen.
He's creative, and he has the system that we use, but he's also not afraid to go outside the box, be creative, and be explosive, always hunting for those big plays, getting playmakers involved. We always just enjoy talking football, quarterback play, and, at any point, whether we're working together or not, we text, call, hey, what were you doing here on this play when you called this? What was your thought? I've learned a ton from him over the years, and excited to learn more.
It's 83 degrees at 5:01. Time and temperature brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
It's a Best Bet Monday on The Frangie Show with fantastic locations in Jacksonville, Orange Park, and now in St. Augustine. It's Best Bet.
Remember when every college band would play this, like every football game?
Absolutely.
Remember that?
It was a definite thing.
There's not one 50, 60 plus year old big booster who ever knew who the White Stripes were.
Yeah.
But it played with every game.
It kind of
they go, who's that? Who's that? Honey, you know who that is?
Mm-hmm.
Now it's like a stadium anthem.
It is.
Yeah. It's hard to believe that song's probably like 20 years old.
Yeah, at least.
But it was always being played.
It was, because it replaced Crazy Train. For about 6 years in every SEC stadium, the defense would come on the field. Everybody would play Crazy Train.
You're right.
Which is fantastic, because then the crowd does the I.
Right.
And then Seven Nation Army came out, and then and I guess like Mr. Brightside has been popular as well. But yeah, you're definitely going to hear the White Stripes at a big stadium football game.
Hey, honey, who was that? What was that band? Are they Stripes or is it? Because the bands all played. It was all. Gosh, it's nice out.
It's beautiful.
I mean, I think the cold's finally gone.
Somebody is going to be lucky if they're the 5th pick in the draft this year.
Yeah.
Because you get to live here,
yeah,
at least for a portion of your
the weather's nice out. It's nice to play golf, get outside, get on the water. You know, JJ, let's give away some water.
You said
let's give away some water. Is there what can you give away to get people on the water?
I have a family 4-pack of tickets to the Spring Boat Show at Met Park, April 25th through the 27th, so this weekend. And be caller number 4 right now, 641-1010, and I'll hook you up with a pair of 4 tickets to the Spring Boat Show.
Boy, that timed out well. Perfect.
That was crazy.
He's kind of the Aquaman of giveaways.
There's no question. All right, so you're headed to the boat show. Give us a call right now. SEC football next year, 2025, Hays. Garrett Nussmeier is a really good player. Really good. I think DJ Lagway is going to be a very good player. I need to see more from him maybe than others do, but will he be generational? We'll see. But as I look around the conference, I don't know that it's going to be loaded with great quarterbacks. You know, I mean, the Manning obviously will get now. He gets the ball at Texas. You know, but
people like John Mateer a lot at OU.
No question. There's a lot of guys that might turn out to be very good.
OU still doesn't count as an SEC.
I agree.
But I just said Texas, so.
Yeah.
But I mean, Mateer
will be elite. It looks like.
But we'll see.
He could be the Cam Ward of this.
Yeah.
Season.
But we'll see. We need to see it first. Are you surprised?
Well, you got Nico at Tennessee.
Yeah. By the way, is it bad as a Florida fan? I wish he was still at Tennessee.
Yeah.
Is that a bad time?
I will say though,
I wish he was at Tennessee and Rashada was at Georgia. By the way, Rashad, this is breaking news. I just heard he's on his way to FSCJ. Okay, and they don't have football yet.
Right.
But I think they're going to start it, and look, they're going to build it around him.
Yes,
is what I'm told.
I like it.
So please continue.
Yeah. I was just making fun. I mean, I do think I'm with you. Like, I think Tennessee will be fine without Nico, but I do think he's talented. I think ideally you would have seen him grow and learn from the mistakes he made as a young player last year, get a little bit more feel for the position and for Heupel's, what Heupel asks of his quarterback. Because I think athletically, I think he can be an elite player in college football, but obviously he is now at UCLA. So I think it's a decent year for quarterbacks in the SEC. Georgia continues to be the one that just really surprises me. I thought they were going to go big on whether it was Mateer or I thought they were really going to go heavy in the portal on a big-time quarterback. And I'm surprised they went and stayed in-house with Gunnar Stockton just based on what I saw. So, we'll see. Maybe, I'm sure, obviously, Kirby Smart thinks he's, got a great head for the game and very smart player. But, I don't know that there's a lot of plays he gives you above the X's and O's, which some of these programs you're going up against. Like Arch Manning, if he's what they believe, he will give Texas that.
Right.
Arch Manning will make plays when they're not plays to be made. DJ Lagway, that certainly fits what we believe his game is going to look like as he matures. So that's where I was surprised that Kirby didn't make more of an effort to go get that real elite quarterback, because I don't know that Gunnar Stockton is on the level of those other guys, at least athletically. Now, he may be the best cerebral player, and at that position, that goes a long way. But Georgia is the mystery for me.
Yeah. So as you go around the league, all right. I mean, you're going around the league. Okay. Nussmeier I think is really good. We'll see. Around here, we're excited about Lagway because he played some. John Mateer might be great. He was very good at Washington State, but it's his first year in the league. We'll see if he's Cam Ward. We'll see. Arch Manning might be good, but he's a first-year starter. We'll see. And again, everything points to it. Alabama doesn't know who their quarterback is yet, okay? Auburn usually has a great quarterback. No one's buzzing about an Auburn quarterback. Tennessee is going to struggle because they didn't have a guy ready to take over. These are elite programs now. We're talking about the elite programs in the league. I couldn't tell you. Texas A&M, I guess, is going to bring back the running quarterback that was pretty good last year, But my point is, this isn't a who's who of quarterbacks in college football. In a year that might be pretty good for college football quarterbacks, I don't know that a lot of them are in the SEC.
South Carolina might have the best quarterback.
And Lenore Sellers, I haven't gotten him. Lenore Sellers at South Carolina might be the best quarterback in the league. He certainly will be, along with Mateer, along with Arch Manning, along with DJ Lagway, someone from whom much is expected. Mm-hmm. That's what those four will all have in common. Garrett Nussmeier, I still think, is probably the best quarterback.
I mean, Austin Simmons at Ole Miss might be fantastic. We just have seen so little, but what we saw was really impressive.
Austin Simmons is a electrifying, left-handed, athletic, big-armed, fast guy, and so I think maybe that's the theme. Is Austin Simmons might be really good, but we haven't seen it. Arch Manning might be the first pick in the draft one day, but we haven't seen it. John Mateer, we certainly haven't seen it in this league. DJ Lagway, we really saw a little bit of it, but haven't really seen it. There's a lot of those guys. I mean, Gunnar Stockton, we haven't seen him play. He had to come in when Beck hurt his elbow at the end of the year. So I think it's a season in the SEC where, other than Nussmeier and Mateer, who did it in a different league, Hays, I think it's a season in the SEC where we just don't know what we're getting, which means the team with the quarterback that does emerge might be the surprise team. I guess that's kind of where I'm going with this. If Lagway's great and the other ones aren't ready, Florida might win the SEC. If Gunnar Stockton is all of a sudden really good, now the young guy they have is a very good player, but it doesn't look like they're going to play him. So if Gunnar Stockton is really good, then maybe, because Georgia generally has the better players than most teams. But that's my point. I mean, I mean, you look at the top. It'll be the usual suspects in these preseason top 25s, but I don't know that there's going to be. There's certainly very few sure things at quarterback in that league.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting to see what the preseason All-SEC team looks like, who's first, second, third team, and who gets left out of that when you guys are in Atlanta and voting on that in a few months. I mean, you're right. It has to start with Nussmeier because he threw for 4,000 yards last year and 29 touchdowns.
And I thought he looked the part, too.
Now, he did throw 12 picks, and that's a number that they'll want him to cut down on. They'll want that TD interception ratio to get closer to 3-1, 4-1. But, but obviously having that production, if he's able to cut the picks down, it starts with Nussmeier in terms of guys that have proven they can do it. But yeah, there's a lot of hope beyond that. And I think Mateer, I think his game will translate, but to me, there's a lot of Napier and Venables are sort of the same guy. Like, I still don't know that even if they have the right guy, if it matters. Now, Napier's an offensive guy, Venables is a defensive guy, but as a head coach, they both sort of strike me as the same. Like, whatever talent they have, they've amassed. Like, if they've amassed 11 and 1 talent, take off 2 wins, and it's probably more like they'll finish like 9-3. So, and maybe Venables and Napier to that matter will prove that wrong. But Mateer, I think, will be good.
I do too.
If he's managed well. I would think South Carolina will be pleased with the development there. I would think Florida is going to be really pleased. I mean, again, we've yet to see DJ Lagway even try to run the ball. And I think he's going to be effective doing that. So, and obviously we've seen what he can do from a poise standpoint, throwing a defensive tackle off of him and flicking his wrist for a 16-yard completion to the sideline. We've seen the deep balls. So obviously there's a lot to like with DJ Lagway. So, I think Simmons will be good with Lane Kiffin. So
I do too.
I think ultimately by the time we get to Halloween, the storyline will be, wow, there's 6 or 7 really great quarterbacks in this conference. So I think they will get there, but it will be really interesting to see which ones sputter and which ones hit the gas.
The quarterbacks you're going to get to know, maybe Ryan Puglisi beats out. That's what I was trying to think of. Gunnar Stockton, but not to start the season. Marcel Reed ran all over Florida last year as a running quarterback. Taylon Green is a running quarterback who's the Arkansas quarterback. Jackson Arnold, the Oklahoma transfer, is going to be the Auburn quarterback. Walter Simmons, as you said, is going to wind up being the Ole Miss quarterback. But you get the point. This is a lot of – and I agree with you on Mateer, by the way. Usually these Pac-12 guys, not just Cam Ward – but a guy that comes from a school where they threw it all over the place, gets to a school with very good players around him and tends to be good. I don't think there's anybody that debates that, but I do think it's going to be wide open. And look, the team that figures that out. I said this before, said it to you, said it to Hicken on the podcast. I think Florida now has a roster that's like the good teams. Okay, I think Florida, maybe not exactly. But I think the roster at Florida is now similar to LSU, Alabama, Georgia, Ohio State, whoever. I think it's now similar. Maybe not the same. But will the quarterback take the step forward? Will Billy Napier coach him well enough? Will the play calling be good enough? Will Billy's sideline management of time, management of timeouts, knowing when to call the trick play, stuff that he just hasn't been good at.
He single-handedly cost them the Tennessee game.
Yeah. So
I mean, that's still where we are with Billy Napier. Like, he cost them a win in Knoxville. Single-handedly. Cost his team the win in Knoxville.
So will he be able to fix that stuff? And that's the question we got to ask. Point is, I think it's kind of a wide-open league. I mean, right now, who are you picking to win the SEC? Right now?
Georgia,
I
just can't.
But
I can't help it.
Yeah, no, they're loaded. They're
just,
loaded at every spot.
It's just, but even though I don't like the quarterback situation, I just trust they'll be fantastic along both lines of scrimmage.
And they will be. And they will. And by the way,
defense will be fantastic.
And they've earned
find their way.
And they've earned that. I hear you.
Texas probably has the best team.
Yeah.
But I would pick I'd pick Georgia.
What I would tell you now is if I had to line them up, I would tell you Texas because of Arch, Oklahoma with a bounce back because of Mateer, Florida with that good roster in Lagway, LSU with all those portal guys in Nussmeier. I would tell you those guys, I would be just as tempted to pick any of them as I would Georgia. And I would agree.
Georgia's not, Georgia. Yeah, Georgia is no longer like the obvious.
It's not Georgia and everybody else anymore.
Correct. And that's where it sort of was in the last year or two of, kind of Saban, and then obviously the first year Saban retirement with DeBoer, where it was like, okay, it's Georgia. And then there was a little bit of a camp for Texas, a little bit of a camp maybe for Alabama. But now I would agree. Like I would think when you guys vote in July in terms of the standings and the SEC that it will be in terms of the number one votes. I mean, there's always some idiot that votes like Vanderbilt number one. Why, I have no idea. But I mean, in terms of the bulk of the voters, I think it's going to be pretty well split. It's not going to be a two-team race like it's been for seemingly 25 years.
I totally agree. It's just going to be fun to watch, no question. Let's take a break. Hays has headlines after this. Stay with us.
The Frangie Show from the Harold and Harold studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
The Frangie Show will recap the Jags draft picks live at Mr. Chubby's Wings Friday from 4 to 6. Join us for 2-for-1 pints and pitchers or $3 wines and wells. This Friday at Mr. Chubby's in Ponte Vedra.
MOV, ING, Southside Kia is moving. Our moving sale is on right now. Help us clear new Kias out. Our current selection's got 200 plus Kias on the lot. Hurry to save big with us. New rides starting at just $20,000 bucks. Plus, bring your tax refund today. We'll double it up to $5K. MOV, ING, get to Southside Kia this spring. Online at SouthsideKiaJax.com. Get your next ride at Southside. For complete details, call 904-325-9208.
It's here. Beard's Diamond's first ever massive sale on all diamond stud earrings and all tennis bracelets. Now through Sunday at 4 p.m. Save 20%, 30%, even 40%. Beautiful diamond stud earrings and gorgeous diamond tennis bracelets. Perfect for any occasion. Take advantage of huge markdowns. Best prices ever. Corporate-owned big box stores could never offer this extreme value, but locally owned Beards can. And it's happening now through Sunday. Up to 40% off. Beards Diamonds, St. John's Town Center. Shop local. Shop Beards.
Hey, Jacksonville, I'm sure by now you've seen our bright green GFL trucks and containers throughout the greater Jacksonville area. We are an industry leader in solid waste and would love the opportunity to earn your business. We are committed to customer service, reliability, and have unwavering focus on safety. Whether commercial or construction, let us haul your waste away. Call 904-760-5880 to get a quote today. GFL, green for life.
Slacker plumbing.
Yeah, hey, listen, I need a plumber over here right now.
Yeah, well, we don't have any openings for about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yep.
I was just changing the shower head and the water line broke and it's flying everywhere.
All right, 1 week.
What if I throw you an extra $100 to come now?
What's the address?
It's 205.
Oh, I guess he changed his mind.
If you've got a leak that can't wait a week, call Roland Reese Plumbing and fix your plumbing problems fast. PlumbingJacksonville.com.
Hey, gang, Prosser here, and it's always great when you can replace a problem with a promise. And let me get right down to it. When it comes to Chad and Sandy and selling your home, here's a promise that you can count on. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. Now, more. Spring selling season is here. Rates are down. Activity's up. Now's the best time in years to sell your home. Some homes are sitting on the market, though, and hiring an expert who can maximize your equity and minimize hassle is the key. Those expert agents, and I'm recommending them to sell your home, Chad and Sandy Newman. There have been lots of you out there on the First Coast who are taking advantage. Take David and Heather in Fox Ridge. This is out in Orange Park. We wanted to move to Keystone Heights to get closer to family, away from the city. We heard Chad and Sandy on the radio and called. What you hear is true. We got multiple offers and sold in 3 days for $15,000 above asking price. Call the local experts I trust and recommend to sell my home and yours. Call Chad and Sandy, 414-6200, ChadAndSandy.com.
I'm Max Fink, and I'll bring you the Gator Report several times weekly to keep you connected to Gainesville.
The Gator Report, put together by San Jose Collision on the home of the Florida Gators, 1010XL.
Go Gators! Hey, Hickey
in here or just call me Dreamfinders Danny. For a limited time to ring in the new year, Dreamfinders Homes is offering an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down that rate and get in the game. You heard me right. It's 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
The best game day parking in all of Duval is at Tailgaters Parking. Are you ready for some football? Tailgaters is just steps away on the east side of the stadium. Visit tailgatorsparking.com and secure your season parking pass today.
I'm with Greg from Cycles of Jacksonville, and Triumph has branched off from on-road to off-road. Give us the latest on what they've got.
They've got the 250 and the 450. Rick Carmichael designed these bikes himself, and they are bad to the bone.
So you're talking about a really cool effect from a bike off-road that Triumph had on-road forever.
It is, and it's out there winning races, and it is fun to ride.
Check it out, Cycles of Jacksonville, their showroom on Atlantic near Regency, or online on their Facebook page.
Okay, sports fans, Hicken here. Let's talk skin. I and Beaches Dermatology are reminding you all to wear your sunscreen. Spring is here, and that means more time outside. Grabbing the clubs for your tea time? Bring the screen. Heading out on the boat? Bring the screen. Headed to the beach? Definitely bring the sunscreen. All in all, make sure sunscreen is included in your outdoor activities. If you have any concerns now, give Beaches Dermatology a call. I've been seeing them for years, and my skin thanks me for it. Call today online at beachesdermatology.com.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. Now's the perfect time to order logo coffee mugs or maybe a logoed Stick brand tumbler. They're seriously ice cold and look great with your company logo. Hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
1010XL is presented by Farrah & Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? Gather round. It's Hays' Headlines, presented by Harrell & Harrell. Don't settle for less than you deserve. Hear all about it. Here's Hays Carlyon.
Welcome back to the Frangie Show. Frank Frangie is here. We've got JJ LaSelva. I am Hays Carlyon. Thank you to our friends at Harrell & Harrell. Give them a call at 251-1111. They'll take great care of you. Hopefully you won't need them. Hopefully you won't get injured. But unfortunately, that is a part of life. And if it happens, Harrell & Harrell is who you need to put your trust into. Frank, we've reached draft week. We're a few days away, thank goodness. And isn't it interesting that the national media has sort of galvanized over the fact that, boy, the Jaguars are playing a good game of poker.
Yeah.
I mean, Adam Schefter said it today in his draft column, and it's been echoed by other draft experts and NFL analysts. The Jags really seem to be the wild card in this thing at 5.
Well, here's what happened. You're right. There's always a team that comes in after all the picks are gone that you know are going to be gone. If there's 7 that you know where the first 7 are going to be, that team that's at 8 is always the wild card because you don't know. The Jags are sort of that team. You know 3 and they're at 5, so it's not quite 4, but I think that's the one. The other part of that is people have had the whole Genty thing is what's thrown this thing into a mystery, and that is Mason Graham has been, to your point, he's been mocked to the Jags since I was in the 2nd grade. Okay. Now all of a sudden, the Genty thing is getting traction. Whether that, to the point that Schefter made today and others have made, whether that's because the Jags have done a beautiful job of smoke screening that, or it's true, and we won't know that until Thursday. But whether the Jags are still taking Mason Graham and they were all along, they're smoke screening, or whether they're not, and I mean, would it surprise you? I don't think they're going to be able to trade out of there. There's no one to go get. Okay. Would it shock you if it's not anybody we've talked about? Would it shock you If it's the offensive lineman from Missouri, would it shock you? If it's the receiver McMillan from Arizona, would it shock you if it's the tight end from Penn State, Warren? I'm telling you, this is a year nothing would shock me. Surprise me, but nothing would shock me, and I think that's what people are seeing with the Jags.
Yeah, Warren would shock me, but certainly Mimbu and McMillan would not. In fact, Tedero McMillan was mentioned in Schefter's draft column today, saying he's in play for the Jaguars at 5, which takes us back, again, as we talk about, the draft almost always comes full circle.
Right.
Well, who was a player that we were talking about a lot in January, February at 5? Tedero McMillan.
Yeah, I'll say this. Let me say this. The one thing they have to do, not the one thing, but one thing they have to do is go get another receiver. That's one thing that, I mean, there's a lot of things they need to do. But right now, your receiving core is a really good rookie, a guy coming off a really good rookie year who looks to be a star. A slot guy that you hope's pretty good in Parker Washington. He's a 3. And a guy you're betting on because he had a good postseason in De'Ami Brown. That's your team. And so, and by the way, they may all turn out to be great, but that's of all the reason McMillan wouldn't surprise anybody. That's a position they have to get. I'd like to see him get a defensive tackle, but Mason Smith and blah 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 blah, and Tyler Lacey and Georgia. I'd like to see him get another offensive lineman, but they got 4 guys now. I think Genty'd be a lot of fun, but they've got 2 decent running backs. They may not have great running backs, but wide receiver's the spot that they're honest to God. There's Brian Thomas and a bunch of unknowns, and I love Parker Washington. I think he's a good, solid player, and I love what I saw from De'Ami Brown late in the year. We all do. But man, that's the one spot. Isn't that the one spot they gotta go get a guy?
Without a doubt. And if something happens to Brian Thomas Jr., I mean, it to me is an expansion level group of receivers. I mean, Parker Washington didn't even have 400 yards last year receiving. De'Ami Brown hasn't completed a season in the NFL where he's caught more than like 35 passes. That's 2 a game. That's 2 catches a game, and that's his career. Now, again, that doesn't factor in what he did in the postseason, and he was very productive. But his career so far has not popped that this is a guy who you should expect to come in and catch 85 passes next year.
And I'll say this. He might catch 85 passes because they're betting on what they think he will be, and I'm okay with that. But you can't have just one guy that fits into that category, because what if you got it wrong? That matter what if he gets hurt. But I mean, that's my point is, if you got 2 or 3 established guys, last year when they had what we thought they had, which was a really good player in Christian Kirk, a really good tight end, a pass catch tight end, Evan Ingram, Gabe Davis coming in here, who we thought was definitely going to be better than Zay Jones. We were wrong. When you had all that, and then you take the rookie, then you're thinking, okay, now you got some options. That's not where they are yet.
No, it is not. So let's do a Jaguars flashback, because on this date back in 1995, the Jaguars acquired this gentleman.
Trying to keep the ball away from Elway. Brunell slips away. What a move. Still on his feet. To the sidelines at the 40. Another block. Brunell 30, 25, and dives at the 21. Oh, my. What a...
How about that?
The golden tones of Dick Enberg, by the way, which is fantastic. I was in Denver. I was at Mile High Stadium.
What a run.
What a run. And I can still remember, and then the fade to Jimmy right after that, I can still remember the look, because Denver had a good team.
Oh, yeah.
I can still remember the looks on the fans' face at Old Mile High. Of all the fans you see shocked, of all the times you've seen fans shocked, that might top the list for me. Of all the did we really just lose? Did we really just lose to these guys? That might be, I don't know that I've ever seen that look more perplexing than on the Denver fans. And I can remember at the end of the game back then, the media used to go down on the field. I can remember walking around the field, seeing them boo their team. It was the angriest group of fans I think I've ever seen.
Wow, I can believe it. Brunell, of course, was a Green Bay Packer, and Tom Coughlin wisely sent a 3rd round and 5th round choice to the Packers to get Mark Brunell.
What a great Jaguar he was. You know that? We talk about Baselli, and Tony belongs in that hall, and I'm glad he's there. Fred Taylor belongs in the Hall of Fame, and he's going to get there. Mark Brunell's not a Hall of Famer. He's not going to Canton. But what a wonderful Jaguar he was. The way he carried himself, his spirituality, how real the way he lifted a team to being one of the best in the NFL. Really, almost the minute he got here, all-world good person. What a terrific Jaguar Mark Brunell was. We don't talk about it enough. You know that?
Yeah, that's a good point.
What a terrific Jaguar Mark Brunell was.
Yeah, Brunell threw for 25,698 yards as a Jaguar with 144 touchdowns. He was inducted into the Pride of the Jaguars in 2013. It's just hard to believe that trade occurred 30 years ago today.
Yeah.
But
I did not realize that.
Moment in franchise history.
Tom Coughlin knew what he was seeing, didn't he?
Yes.
Of all the things Tom Coughlin was good at, people said, well, he shouldn't have been the GM and the coach. Yes, he should have, because he proved it by building what I think was the best team in football in 1999.
Without a doubt. Let's get into college football. Happy birthday to Steve Spurrier, who turned 80 years old yesterday. Spurrier won the Heisman Trophy as a quarterback at UF and then guided the Gators as coach to 6 SEC titles and the school's first national championship in 1996. Steve, tell us a little bit about that 52-20 game.
We've got to let you say how you feel at this moment.
Swanee, God has smiled on the Gators, no question about it. Texas did what they had to do, and then Ohio State did it. Of course, we hadn't won it yet. We got to wait on the vote tomorrow. Hopefully it'll work out, but, God smiled on us, and Danny Warford's the best. He's the best player to ever play college quarterback, I'll tell you that.
You got help. You got help from the right places, but the game plan had to come together. A much more physical ball game by your team with a great game plan.
Well, we had to get in the shotgun, and Danny's good in there and get the ball off, and then we was able to run a little bit later, but Danny did it all, and the whole team played super. Proud of everybody.
Got to smile on the Gators. Got to smile on the Gators. You know what? God bless Steve. He's one of my favorite people in sports. We became friends. We stayed friends. I'll tell you this. The one that jarred me was the fact that he turned 80.
Yeah.
I can still remember the press conference. I was still working for the Times-Union and would be many more years after that. The press conference when he took the job on New Year's Eve of 1989 when he was 44 years old. I mean, that was a young 44-year-old coach. And back then, there were no 30-somethings coaching. So he was a young coach. And that seems like it was yesterday, too. And that was 1989.
It really is amazing. Spurrier was 122, 27, and 1 at Florida. Billy Napier, this is almost like that total bowl seal. Yeah. You'd have to eat 87 bowls to get to one bowl of total. Billy Napier would have to go 103-8 in his next 111 games to match Spurrier's record.
You don't like his chances?
I don't like his chances, unless DJ Lagway sues for permanent eligibility.
It's amazing what Spurrier did for Florida. And, you could say the same thing about Bowden and Shoulda at FSU and Vince Dooley at Georgia. Everyone's got their guy. But, Hays, it's amazing what Steve Spurrier did. Again, I've said this many times, and you know this, and I promise you, who knows it even better than you is your father because he lived it like I did. Florida was a program that couldn't win anything. They had been in the league 58 years and never won the SEC. The only two teams that had never won it were Vanderbilt and Florida. And
wow.
I
did not know
they
that.
They went 58 years and had never won the SEC till Steve and Orr Spurrier walked on that campus before the 1990 season, and he won it 5 of his first 6 years.
It's crazy because, I was born in 1990, so my whole life has just been the Gators being one of the most dominant programs.
Well, and the funny thing, JJ, is there's a lot of Gator fans that were born in the 80s and 90s that don't understand how bad that program was as we were growing up. Steve Spurrier, I've told him this, I've introduced him a number of times, and I've said this while introducing him. He changed forever the self-esteem of Gator football fans. He's changed forever the self-esteem of Florida fans, me among them.
Absolutely. Happy birthday to Steve Spurrier. It was yesterday. Turned 80 years old. Hope he had a great one and hope he has many more. Let's get to college basketball. Former Florida reserve guard Denzel Aberdeen gets Kentucky money as he commits to the Wildcats. According to reports, Aberdeen was seeking $2 million for next season. Good for Denzel Aberdeen, and we'll see what kind of difference he can make for the Kentucky Wildcats.
Yeah, I think Florida had an offer in the $1 million range for him. I think Kentucky probably came close to that too. And I understand. You're assuming his family does, and I have no idea what kind of money his family has. But if he's like most of us, they got out of high school, out of college, you probably didn't grow up with a lot. And if he didn't, and all of a sudden now he is if not set for life, certainly he and his family in a way better spot. I get it. I'm okay with it.
Maybe we can actually get Kentucky to come back to Gainesville next year, league office, as opposed to Florida just playing at Rupp and not getting a home date.
Right. I will say this, as much as I hate it for him, hate it for the Gators, I will say this. I'll say what I said about Jack Pyburn. Denzel Aberdeen, at that senior day next year, had he stayed at Florida?
Oh, yeah.
The roof would have come off that place.
Absolutely.
I mean, as much as anybody ever has, particularly if they're good again, just like Pyburn, and neither one of them will be. Now, Denzel will more because they won a title, but neither one of them's lasting legacy will be Gators, and that's a shame.
It is a shame. Let's get it to golf. Justin Thomas sinks a dazzling 20-foot putt to win a playoff over Andrew Novak, claiming the RBC Heritage at Hilton Head. JT snapped a 3-year winless drought, winning $3.6 million in the process. Thomas has 16 PGA Tour wins and is now 6th in the Ryder Cup standings.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I'll stand by what I said. He's done. He'll never win again. And right about the time I said that, he became the best golfer in the world suddenly. But he's a great player, and he's a great player. And golf is better when the players you know are playing great. And we're seeing that now. I mean, think about it now. We saw the Scheffler run. This year it's the Rory run. When Rory doesn't win, Justin Thomas does. I love it. I love it for golf, and good for him.
Anything in the NBA jump out to you this weekend? The Magic lost 103-86 at Boston in Game 1. Oklahoma City dropped a 131-80 on Memphis, and the Lakers got roughed up in Game 1, losing to the Timberwolves 117-95. Minnesota hit 21 threes in that game. Anything?
Of all the games, the Lakers.
I watched very little.
I didn't watch much, but the Lakers losing to Anthony Edwards, who went nuts, and the T-Wolves, I mean, I don't care what the NBA says. I don't care what Adam Silver says. The last thing they want is an early exit for the Lakers.
Oh, yeah.
You can't say it publicly, but the last thing they need, I mean, the Lakers climbed all the way up to the 3 seed. They want, let's be honest, you want Lakers and Celtics the way baseball just had Dodgers and Yankees, and that's the same. And
they could have Lakers-Warriors next series.
Yes,
would be like a huge win for the NBA if that happens. But like you said, they made every single three.
Yeah, the Lakers.
I think they shot 50% from 3.
Yeah, the Lakers led that game early. They led the game almost to halftime. And so,
JJ, will you watch a lot of NBA playoffs now?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I'm totally locked in.
Okay,
now.
great.
Like, I did watch the Lakers game, and if you take away 3 variants, it's hard to tell how the series would go. But if you just hit 50% of your threes, you're going to win every single game.
Yeah, that's right.
And they were a lot of wide open threes, so it's not like it was just luck. But the Lakers really need to buckle down, and I'm sure JJ will have some sort of game plan when they go out there next.
Because I can tell you, I mean, when the mainstream fan like us, Hays, starts watching the NBA, which is getting closer to the finals, the mainstream fan still hasn't seen Luka play with LeBron.
Right.
The NBA fan has, Laker fan has, but mainstream fan hasn't watched it.
They probably saw that one Dallas
that's
game.
Right. They saw the highlights of it. But when they start watching it, it'd be a shame if mainstream fan never gets to see that.
Right.
It really would.
It would.
But, and the plus, Anthony Edwards, like, the NBA wants to make him a star.
Yeah.
So if he takes out the Lakers, that'd be massive.
Yeah, good point. It'll be fun to watch as we get now into the postseason in the association. We will get you out on today's musical nugget. Today we are celebrating the #1 song on the Billboard Hot 100 this week. Back in 1980, Blondie takes the prize with Call Me. The song would enjoy a 6-week run atop the charts. Blondie has sold over 40 million albums and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2006.
You know what? Deborah Harry was probably as recognizable a person in the music world for a little stretch there. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody knew Debbie Harry. Yeah, everybody knew Deborah Harry. Everybody did. But I mean, from one stretch there, everybody knew Deborah Harry.
Oh, they were mega.
Yeah.
I mean, they were huge.
Great job.
And it's a great song.
As always. We'll take a break, wrap the program after this.
It's the ride home with the Frangie Show. From the Harrell and Harrell studio, don't settle for less than you deserve.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Futures odds shifting for the NBA championship as the Oklahoma City Thunder are now the betting favorite to capture the title after a 51-point win in Game 1 against Memphis. They are plus 165 to win the Larry O'Brien Trophy. The Boston Celtics, coming off a Game 1 win against Orlando, plus 190 to repeat as NBA champions. The Cleveland Cavaliers, who have the best record in the Eastern Conference, are plus 550. Golden State, after a Game 1 win against Houston, plus 1,500. The Lakers lost the opener of their playoffs to Minnesota. Nevertheless, they're plus 1,700 to win the NBA title, while the Denver Nuggets are plus 2,800. Earn cash back on your gaming transactions with the GBank Signature Visa Card at vsin.com/GBank. I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010XL.
Trying to figure pricing at most AC companies is like listening to an auctioneer.
Who wants an AC tune-up? Do I hear $3.99? How about $2.99? No, let's drop it. $79? Do we have a deal? Going once, going twice? Sold!
Not at Duck Duck Air Conditioning. We make it easy. We're offering a free AC inspection. No gimmicks, no fine print, just a completely free checkup from our highly trained techs to make sure your AC is ready for summer. Call 904-862-6769 now to schedule. Duck Duck Air Conditioning, because free is better than bidding. Any required repairs are not included in the inspection.
It's truck season again at Nimnick Chevrolet, and this month you can save up to $12,000 off a new Silverado or get financing rates as low as 2.9%. Now, unlike most dealerships, Nimnick Chevrolet has the largest inventory on the ground, ready for you to explore. And with their extensive selection, you're sure to find your perfect truck at Nimnick. And available now, the all-new Silverado EV. It's designed to go the difference. The Silverado EV boasts 440 miles of range, more standard range than any competitor. And ask about low-rate financing and $7,500 instant cash savings on EVs. Remember, Nimnick will always give you top dollar for your trade, and for a limited time, up to an additional $3,000 in trade assistance. That is a great deal. So remember, who's got more Silverados at the best prices? Nobody but Nimnick. That's Nimnick Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Tired of seeing the signs of aging? Spring is here, a time to renew. I'm Dr. Mark Capel, a board-certified dermatologist, here to help you look and feel your best with minimal to no downtime. Rejuvenate your skin, strengthen your core, and sculpt your body with advanced face and body treatments designed to restore your youthful glow and confidence. Just in time for spring and summer. A healthier, more fit you starts now. Visit dermagnify.com and step into spring looking and feeling your best.
Mike Dempsey here. Look, you know, it's been 10 years that I've been vouching for my guys at Dandy Boots, and for a decade, I'm proud of my association with a local family business. They make a great product. I've made no secret that I was a customer long before Dandy ever came on board on 1010XL. But I'm thinking I'm due a little Dandy swag, maybe a little love. How about a Dandy t-shirt, a ball cap? So how about it, Thompson family? What do you got going on over there? In the meantime, I'm going to keep eating those delicious tuna salad sandwiches. So guys, keep helping me out and grab a Dandy sandwich today.
When it comes to your utility bill, JEA wants to help you use less so you can save more. We offer a variety of free programs, like efficiency and irrigation assessments that'll teach you ways to conserve energy and water around your home. Our alerts will let you know when your utility usage has reached a set amount, and our rebates can help you save when upgrading to more efficient appliances and equipment. Find even more ways to save at JEA.com.
So, you finally have some time to yourself. Even if it is just the car ride home, it's you time. And look at you. Do not disturb set before you even got in the car? Impressive. You've earned this moment to just chill and drive. This break is brought to you by Target Zero and the Florida Department of Transportation.
Jimerson Burr is a full-service, Florida-based commercial law firm that has experience and capabilities to handle any legal issue a business is confronted with. Learn more about what they can do for you at jimersonfirm.com.
Share a cup of coffee and range balls with Dan, Jeff, and PGA pros. Tour news, tips, and inside info.
Sounds like a lot of club for this young man.
Brunch with the tour.
Brought to you by Clearwater Irrigation, 8:30 Tuesday morning on 1010XL.
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, Call 722-1111 for instant keys locksmith service.
Hacker here, and guess what my scale reads? 195 pounds. I'm shocked seeing that number, but it's there every month. The weight is staying off after dropping 122 pounds. Absolutely life-changing. Awaken180weightloss.com.
Hey Jacksonville, Lauren here for Big Chief Tire. Tax season is the perfect time to invest in your vehicle. Use your refund to tackle overdue tire replacements, brake repairs, or routine maintenance. Big Chief Tire's skilled technicians ensure every dollar counts, keeping your car running strong. With 5 convenient locations around town, fair prices, and trusted expertise, they've got you covered. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com or call 904-932-0950 to schedule an appointment today. Big Chief Tire keeps Jacks rollin'.
You'll always feel good when you send someone a Kuhn Flowers floral or plant arrangement. This is RJ with 1010XL, and no matter what the reason, Kuhn Flowers has always come through for me. Order online at KuhnFlowers.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. 1010
Take.
All right, the 1010 Take is sponsored by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. DuckDuckRooter.com. Gator fan, I know you're hurt. I am too. But you should not be angry with Denzel Aberdeen. Number one, he brought you a title, and you don't win that title without him. He didn't do it by himself, but he was among the 7 or 8 people that without them, you don't win that championship. I believe that in all my heart. Secondly, he had a chance, by all accounts, to make twice as much money or close to it, $2 million or so, more than $1 million or so. You don't know if he's going to play in the NBA. You don't know if he'll have a basketball career after this. You can't walk away from $1 million. I wouldn't walk away from $1 million. You wouldn't walk away from an extra $1 million. Nobody any of us know would walk away from an extra $1 million, and that's what Denzel had a chance to do. I don't fault Florida for not being able to go there. Your budget is what it is, and you've got probably more important players. But I don't fault Denzel Aberdeen one bit. I hate that he's not there. I hate that he landed at Kentucky. I hate that he landed in the SEC. I think he's a very good player, and I wish him well. But Florida fans should not be angry with him. That's the world we live in now. And I don't know anybody that would walk away from $1 million. And that today is the 1010 Take.
Now, the cool down from the cool guys at Donovan Air Electric and Plumbing. Fast, reliable, and honest service since '87.
All right, where have we been today on the course of the program? We certainly talked about Denzel Aberdeen and the fact that he is headed to Kentucky. That story finally ended, and we'll see how he does up there. Justin Thomas won the Heritage and the RBC, and good for him for winning at Hilton Head. He deserved to win. He's played very well. We talked Jaguars. We always go into a different room. We went into the defensive line room and talked about what we think they need to do. I came up with a B+. Hays even had a little higher than that as far as how high the need is. The need is significant. And we talked about SEC football and who will and won't have good quarterbacks in the Southeastern Conference. And that is the cool down today. We're getting closer. Thursday's the day.
Can't wait.
It's going to be a fun afternoon, by the way, for on our you, Hacker, and Blue will all have 4 to 7. So we'll have the afternoon shift, typically the Frangie Show, but you guys will have our pre-draft show instead. And then Jeff Logman and I will have the network show from 7 to probably 11 that night. Jeff and I will be hosting it live from the Miller Electric Center. Brian Sexton will check in from Green Bay. Brian is down. He's also going to join us, by the way, on the Wednesday show here on our program. But he's going to check in from Green Bay on that show. JP Shadrick stopping by. Kai Stevens will check in live from the Lemon Bar, which is where the party is. By the way, we'll be checking in here on 1010XL all day long from the Lemon Bar. So
and we're supposed to have a Jags player interview.
Okay.
From the Lemon Bar. Awesome. I don't want to say who it is if it doesn't happen, but he goes by 3 letters, and everyone really, really, really loved
that'd be a good
his production last year. I hope it's him.
That would be an awfully good one if we got him. So, but we'll certainly see what winds up happening. But it's going to be a fun day. So, draft day is always fun. The Jags draft early. They draft 5th overall. So we're certainly looking forward to that. It's going to be fun, isn't it? Do you think anything in the next 3 or 4 days? Is there been any movement in the? I say movement in the narrative. I don't think there's gonna be any movement.
But certainly I think you're gonna see this is the time for the wild theories, and so and they're not probably all gonna be wrong. Most will be, but I think it's gonna be a lot of fun in terms of the the 11th hour speculation that will be out there on these teams, but I just think it's going to be a very unpredictable night because I mentioned this on the handoff. There just isn't a team that really controls this draft. All 32 teams have their first round pick. So there isn't really that one or two teams that maybe have the 4th and the 16th pick and can kind of shape, how that round goes, kind of set the tone. No one's really able to do that other than attacking positions that aren't as strong as others. But short of that, I think it really sets up to be, and again, the Jaguars are right at the epicenter of this at 5. We're 72 hours away, and there's probably 5 options that you could do a very convincing point or counterpoint as to why that player should be selected at 5. It's going to be magnificent drama as we close in on the Jaguars getting on the clock.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see. It's going to be a fun draft. They're all fun draft days, but this one maybe as much intrigue as any of them have had. This one's got a whole lot of intrigue, no question about it. All right, let's say hello to Rick Ballou.
Now, the 2-minute drill. Serviced by Cool Cats Heating and Cooling. Locally owned and operated. We're your neighbors. CoolCatsJacks.com.
The coolest cats in town.
All right, let me get right to it. Did you leave Jamaica the way you found it?
No, I did not.
It's worse. Is it better, worse for wear? That's what I want to know. I saw the pictures. I followed Jamaica.
Jamaica's just incrediable.
Yeah.
It really is. It was funny.
Had you been before?
Yeah, I've been to Ocho Rios and Negril and a couple of those places, Montego Bay. But I can't even remember where we stayed. They have 5 different sandals resorts.
Right.
So we stayed in one we'd never been before, and it was just
awesome.
Oh, just great.
Fantastic weather.
People there are friendly.
Yeah.
It's a good time. But we got out, and you take 2 steps out of sandals, man, you're smack dab in a third world country.
Yeah.
And I'm going to talk about it just a tiny bit, but it's amazing. It's like every third building's a bar, and it's like built into their home, and the doors are open. So we went on this excursion to this place called Rick's Cafe, which is supposed to be like one of the most famous bars in the world. And then on the way back, there was a couple of girls with us, and we stopped off and just had a blast in one of these places.
Oh, that's awesome. You look like you're ready for draft week.
Yeah, I won't say that did cross my mind that I was going to get shot while I was there, but I still had a hell of a good time when I was inside that little roadside bar.
Right, and you survived. And so you can all talk about it, so that's good. What's coming up tonight?
It was fun. I'll draft tonight. I'll draft this week. I heard you guys talking about it, but we just don't know.
Yeah.
There's no patterns. There's no trends. We don't know what this new organization is going to do. So I don't think there's a bad move at 5, but I think there's 4 or 5 different opportunities here on the table.
All right, all coming up.
Thank you.
Rick Ballou goes into the night. That comes up right now. That'll do it for our program. Tomorrow, same bat time, same bat channel, talking more draft and a whole lot more. We're out of here. For Hays and JJ, I'm Frank